So, imagine dropping a modern corporate accountant into a medieval fantasy world.
Right, yeah.
But, like, not to slay a dragon or anything,
Mhm.
just to fix their totally broken tax code.
Which is honestly hilarious.
It is. It sounds absurd. But these hyper-specific subverted stories are driving a massive evolution in the North American publishing industry right now.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at the stack of recent press releases and acquisition announcements we have today on Seven Seas Entertainment, you can really see it happening.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how their new strategy is basically a system-wide software patch for the publishing industry. I mean, they are upgrading everything from the formats to the genres.
It's a really fascinating pivot, honestly, because they're moving way beyond just sticking a traditional paperback volume on a bookstore shelf.
Right.
They're tapping directly into how adult fans actually, live and work today.
Well, let's jump straight into the wildest part of this strategy, which is the audio market. Seven Seas is taking the hit isekai magic user, reborn in another world as a max-level wizard, and making it an audiobook.
Yeah, which is a huge shift.
But hold on, right, because light novels really rely on visual pacing. You've got those short, snappy paragraphs,
Yeah.
heavy internal monologue.
Oh, and the character illustrations.
Yes, the illustrations interspersed throughout. So doesn't making it an audiobook completely strip away that unique structural charm? Or is it just like the ultimate level up for a multitasking lifestyle?
I mean, it definitely changes the aesthetic, sure, but it solves a much bigger practical problem for the reader, which is time.
Right. Nobody has any.
Exactly. The core demographic for these books isn't kids with endless summer vacations anymore. It's you. You're an adult with a commute, a desk job, and probably intense screen fatigue.
Definitely.
So taking a 300-page text and making it auditory just removes the physical friction of reading. It allows you to grind through a favorite power fantasy while doing the dishes or, driving to work.
So it's an accessibility play.
Totally. It keeps
Yeah.
you engaged when you physically cannot hold a book.
Okay, so making it easier to consume is step one. But the content of the stories themselves is shifting drastically too.
It really is.
Like if we look at their airship light novel imprint, they are bringing over Japanese web novels that heavily subvert classic fantasy tropes. We're moving away from the standard hero who just wants to cast the biggest fireball.
Right. Trading that in for, political maneuvering or cozy domestic lives.
Or hilarious culture clash misunderstandings. But wait, pause for a second. Another isekai.
Yeah.
I just feel like every time I blink, someone else is getting hit by a truck and waking up as an overpowered wizard. Aren't readers getting incredibly exhausted by this exact same reincarnation loop?
See, that fatigue is the entire point.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Readers are tired of the straight-laced version, which is exactly why these humorous subversions are working so well. Seven Seas knows that you already know the tropes.
Oh, okay.
So by acquiring stories that poke fun at the cliches, like our accountant balancing medieval ledgers, they maintain that comforting loop of world building and leveling up.
But they inject a totally fresh narrative challenge.
Exactly. The subversion actually cures the genre fatigue.
So you take a tired formula, flip it on its head, and aim it at a very specific type of reader who, gets the inside joke. That kind of hyper-targeting seems to be the overarching theme here, especially with their specialized imprints. Like, Steamship is entirely dedicated to slow-burn, explicit romance for adult women.
And then Ghost Ship handles the mature, edgy horror and ecchi comedies.
Right. And meanwhile, over in their core manga line, they're scooping up titles with art styles just dripping in 90s and early 2000s nostalgia.
Because the North American manga audience has aged up, and fragmented.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A fan who grew up reading manga in 2002 now has disposable income and very specific, mature tastes.
It honestly feels like a boutique streaming algorithm that perfectly targets your hyper-specific cravings. But, why lean into the niche? Why abandon the old mass market appeal?
Because watered-down mass appeal books just get lost in the modern noise.
Oh, that's true.
When a publisher puts out a beautifully bound, edgy horror comedy or a retro art romance, they're telling that older reader, we see exactly what you want.
building that fanatical brand loyalty.
Precisely. A product tailored perfectly to a niche audience will always command more dedication than something trying to please everyone.
So they aren't trying to sell one book to everyone. They're trying to sell the perfect book to you.
Exactly. Seven Seas is cementing its role as an industry tastemaker by proving that localizing Japanese content is actively evolving through format diversity and high-quality targeted storytelling.
Which leaves a pretty wild question on the table, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with publishers successfully turning hyper-niche localized text into multi-sensory audio experiences for commuters, how long until the industry pushes beyond audio entirely?
That is a crazy thought.
Right, with tech advancing so quickly, how long until they offer fully immersive, interactive ways to literally step into these medieval worlds yourself? Something to think about next time you open a book. Catch ya on the next Deep Dive.